brothers and sisters, soldiers and soldierettes, salute. If I said that right, soldiers and soldierettes, salute. You alive and breathing? Guess what? We are back to conquer another day. And we can always strive to do better. Just depends on how our mindset is and how much willpower we have. And I give honor to our ancestors whose spirit is alive and present in many great reaches and teachers out there. Salute. Also within our families and our loved ones that we are connected to. And I thank those that have been riding along. Remember, we're leaders, never followers. Those that have been looking on, current subscribers, new subscribers, that have been listening to a brother. I appreciate you, whether you react or not. It's all about lifting that spirit and educating that spirit. If you got anything out of what I say, I appreciate you and salute. And if I didn't say it already, another edition of EBX Discussion. And I salute our families. May all of our families prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And I did one podcast on stepping stones that lead to victory, part 1. And this is stepping stones that lead to victory, part 2. And I had a certificate on my last podcast. So this is the other one that I was talking about. And I'll put that podcast, part 1, stepping stones, in the end screen. And salute to all the reachers and teachers that's doing their thing. And the real, to the pit of the soul, like-minded brothers and sisters out there. Salute, because sometimes it's not easy being on this righteous walk. As many of us that self-aware and that really know and not in this matrix, we know it's not an easy walk. And when we get to that state, when we know that there are always going to be challenges, you'll have less challenges, because over time on this spiritual walk, we learn to what? We learn the power of anticipation. And today we're going to talk about, of course, stepping stones that lead to victory. And we're going to talk about when we know we're in alignment. And we're also going to break down that word completion. And I want to talk about, I know there's churches out there that, we have those that are self-aware that used to be in Christianity and not in it anymore and not into religion. We know what some churches are about, but I think, and I actually heard on the radio probably yesterday, I actually heard a brother, I don't know if he was a pastor, but he was saying that churches need to get more involved in the community. And I didn't hear that very much, and it was nice to hear that. So there are some, maybe pastors or, some of these churches that are waking up and, say, hey, it's time to do something different. The old way, it's not working. At some point, we all get to that state. It just, like I always say, the truth comes for all of us. So there's no escaping it. So that's a part of truth, as realizing something for what it is and not just doing things because it's comfortable or because everybody else is doing it. We always got to look for new ways to elevate ourselves, and because that way we don't miss things. When we stay elevating oneself and always looking to, I wouldn't say reinvent, but just always looking to be greater, keeping one's mind maintained and, not getting lost in the things of the world and the material things and stuff that's insignificant, in this life. Enjoy ourselves, but also paying attention to the things that are important, like our health, our thinking, our mental, things that'll keep us alive and moving, And I want to talk about, I don't want to get away from the churches I was talking about a few minutes ago. Now, this particular church here, which is Word of Hope Ministries. Now, this church, and I'm gonna promote them. I don't know if they ever come across my channel, but they helped a brother. So you see right there on my banner, certificate of completion, soft skills training, and I needed a little brush up on, like when you get a job and they teach you, they educate you about computers and being on computers, and I needed a little brush up on it, and they teach you to make resumes, so that I needed a brush up on that. So teach you how to make resumes the proper way, and how to bring it up online, and emails, and all that good stuff, which is still more stuff that I could learn about computers, because I know the basics about computers, but I'm not like super educated about it. I know how to upload a video, and the basic things, but I will never pretend like I'm this I know everything. I'm this tech savvy computer person, because I'm not really am. But a lot of us that have that high volume of creativity, it drives us to learn more about computers and online and websites and stuff like that drive within us, brother or sister, young or old, especially those that are reaching and teaching and putting good quality things on on our platforms or social media. That's the most beautiful thing in the world. We just have to be careful we don't get consumed by it's good to show our passions, share our passions. We just have to be careful and keep it at a minimum, and enjoy a regular life, and make sure we don't become robots. I've said this in the past, because social media can very easily make us become robots. So we have to be careful of that. That's why we have to take times off, so we can reflect, rejuvenate, so when we come back, we're stronger, So, but I want to talk about the word completion, and how this church really helped me. They did. So I'm sure there are a lot more churches out there that really are helping the community. And this certificate here, see, my other certificate was this was the other certificate I was talking about, which I'll put in the end screen. It was 2014, and I think this one was too. It was around the same time. Might even been before. No, it was around the same time, 2014. So this certificate actually catapulted me into where I am, helped where I am now. Because it helped me, even though, we know those that are self-aware, how we feel about jobs. I already know. But, in situations in different stages of our lives, we have to work jobs. So this helped me to get a job, and, helps me to, help take care of the children, and, pay my bills, and try to live somewhat of a good life, and this, I mean, they really helped me. And whenever I didn't have a job, and I went back to them, because the guy, and this was a 5-day class I was talking about the last podcast too. It was a 5-day class, and it was well worth it, and it's beautiful, and I want to say where it is. It's either 43rd or 44th and Center, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they're probably still helping people today. And they really helped they helped me. So, and there were other brothers and sisters in that class, so they helped them, and everyone in there, no one left that class without either a certificate to get a job, or had a job, was on the way to get a job. So it was beautiful, and it was melanated brothers and sisters. So this is one church I could say that helped the community, because, I would never, I was volunteering at one time at my younger son, Ethan, that you hear me talk about from time to time, which is 8. And I was volunteering at his school, but I had stopped. I'd admit I had stopped, really no excuses, but I did had to kind of conserve my energy, and, problems with my car and just different things. Cause, I had needed my car for work, and it was an old 89 Buick. I had to lay the old Buick to rest. It was an 89 Buick LeSabre. I had to lay it to rest. So, but I will be back to volunteering, and it's in my spirit all the time. I think about it, cause those of us that truly care about humanity and each other, melanated brothers and sisters, we have a conscience. So when we want to do something and we don't do it, or not able to do it, it bothers us. So I will work that in the schedule. I just have to get used to, volunteering, and make it a part of my routine. Don't look at it as something extra. Make it a part of my life, So I just have to get used to doing it, and I'll get back into it next year and just kind of start fresh and start all over. Because as we all know, this year's started out a little. It's like it started where it left off from last year. But I think things are kind of changing. There is somewhat of a different shift than there was last year. So if I have a different mindset, if I see things changing in my life and my family's life, I know others that are in my circle, I'm sure they feel the shift too. It's not just me. Great universe is a wonderful thing when you're connected to it, but I wanted to talk about that word completion. And when we know we are in alignment, it's a beautiful thing. We know when we know, but it's up to each individual. We can teach you, we can show you the way, but it's always going to come down to thyself. It's always going to come down to that. And those I'm connected to, whether in my family or in the world or online, my children, their mothers, most I come into contact with, a lot of us, especially those that are reaching and teaching and have been on this walk for a long time, we carry that divine presence. We do. We carry that divine presence, even though we might fumble here and there or make a little human error or something. But again, like I always say, those of us that's been on this walk for a long, long time, there'll be small little errors here and there, because that's that stupid human side. I always say, I freaking hate this human flesh sometimes. Never give in to the human flesh. You hear me say that from time to time, and you will reach completion in your spiritual walk. And I don't mean like you're done, but things won't worry you as much. Things won't be able to pull you back anymore. That's what I mean, completion, and you will always ascend. It will become natural to be righteous. That's when you have made it to completion, when it becomes natural, when you don't have to fight to be wrong. To be wrong, right? To be right. You don't have to fight for it anymore. It just becomes natural. It becomes a part of you. You won't have to say you're real. You would just be real. And that's what I mean when I say completion. Because in this life, we're never done until we what? As a lot of us brothers and sisters say, we're never done in this life. The top level is what? Transition. And we don't know what's beyond that. So, but I want to talk about completion, and I really salute this church that's helped people, because they helped me. So I'm sure they helped a lot of others. And I want to talk about that word completion. And this is another meditative moment. Thank those soldiers and soldierettes that's been riding along. Salute. So here we go. And it's probably one stage. The action or process of finishing something. It's beautiful. The action, and you sit back and see your work and see what you finish. We have to give ourselves little goals and little adventures, just little nuggets in our life, little righteous nuggets in our lives. Whether we come up with it ourselves or we hear from somebody else, whether it's a family member, brother and sister that's reaching and teaching. We got to snatch little nuggets here and there that just put a smile on our face, to make us want to go on so we can finish and complete. And another stage, that was one. Here's two. The state of being finished. Man, it's a beautiful state to be in, especially when we can complete something within our minds. It always comes back to that, because everything begins with a thought. I actually heard this from a great teacher. Everything begins with a thought. So what do we carry in our thoughts? When we wake up in the morning, what be in our mind? How do we attack thoughts that come into our body or our mind that we don't like? Do we attack them? Do we think about it? Do we just let it ride and think nothing about it? Well, to me, in my opinion, we should always analyze, especially thoughts that come into our mind that we didn't have and it just pop into our head. We have to study those things and see where they are coming from. And that's why I say we have to pull ourselves away from social media from time to time to have our own thoughts, away from this robotic world. We got to make sure it's not, something that I'm not talking about if we listen to something positive or positive brothers and sisters online or something. I'm not talking about that, but just other things. We have to be very careful because this world is becoming very, very random and fast, and everything is just. That's why you have to get off the merry-go-round, so to speak, and just slow things down. Those that have that divine spirit within, don't forget, we have the power to slow time down. And you say, how was that, EBX? Because we're on divine time. Remember, we have to pull ourselves out of that worldly time, because our time is precious, especially those that are melanated, those that are divinely connected and reaching and teaching and ain't taking no shit out here. Our life is very precious, because how we live our lives, how we think, those that are reaching and teaching, it will matter how it affect those behind us, those we are influencing. Those that are genuinely, that really do care about the culture, themselves and others, some of us, I'm not even saying me, just brothers and sisters in general that's reaching and teaching out here, they have no idea the power, the impact they're having. I'm sure they know, but if they could really see the impact, the ripple effect, that the positive energy that a lot of us are putting out is having more of an effect than we think, especially on the children. That's what's important. So, because I actually seen a content creator that I watch sometimes, and he actually had a clip of a little baby watching him speak on the TV. That's powerful. A little child. And the child was content and was watching and was listening. And that is a very good sign at a young age. And that's the beauty of reaching and teaching of a great righteous content creator. When a little child, an infant, you can have the attention of an infant. So, and I thought that was amazing. That was brilliant. That was like, man, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The most beautiful thing. See a child to be that aware, at a young age like that. So that's just an example of how powerful we really are, brothers and sisters. Those of us that are reaching and teaching and have come in tune with oneself. And you'll know, like I say, those in the beginning of this walk, you'll know when you're in alignment. You'll know, because things will become more simple to you. Things will come to you. You won't have to search and reach and reach to teach, but you won't have to push or try to make things happen, and things will just come natural after a while. Because when we stop, like for an example, like you're looking for a relationship, and this could be male or female. Once you just chill, relax, and don't be desperate and trying to do this, that, and going in DMs and all this old stupid shit that that could get you in trouble in some situations, depending on who we are. When you just let things come natural and don't try to push things, let that divine move, and things will just come natural. And things don't always come right away, because sometimes that higher force teaches us patience, because sometimes we think we're ready for things and we're not. Only that great divine knows when we're ready. That's why we have to move with that divine. And always listen to those little intuitions. I'm sure a lot of us know this, but sometimes it's human body. I'm telling you, that's why we have to study thyself on a regular basis, and introspect and keep ourselves strong and refreshed, so we can reach that completion again and again in every area, in every situation. So, stepping stones will be a breeze. Like I said, brothers and sisters, family, children, my children, reachers and teachers. Just think of all those great, great stepping stones that we have made and we are making. And in a lot of areas in our lives, it could be small or big, but victory nonetheless, right? Small victories can lead to big victories. Any kind of victory, righteous victory, doesn't matter. It always leads to great things. Always leads to great things. And something you'll hear me say 1,000 times, and you'll hear a lot of other reachers and teachers say. Man, always think of that law of attraction. Think of the beautiful things. Think of more beautiful things we can do. think of those in the past that have helped us or have helped, whether it's family or something. Keep things like that in your spirit. Keeps us humble, Don't mean we soft. We never soft. We just know who we are, We don't have to prove anything to no person, place, or thing when we are in alignment. And that's when you truly know, when you have completed this spiritual walk. And again, like I say, I don't mean we're done. But as far as overthinking, worrying, stress, we become more analytical, we smile at things now. We're more calm, unless it's a threat or it's harmful to you physically or something like that. Then we have to take different actions, Always gotta, and when we encounter situations, we deal with them accordingly, according to how that person, place, or thing is or acting, because nothing is more powerful than a concentrated, calm, meditative mind. You can't fuck with you can't penetrate a divine mind. Nothing can penetrate a divine mind that's determined, a righteous terminator. That's what we got out. That's what we got to be, a righteous terminator. Let nothing penetrate us. Don't give a fuck what it is. Lust, money, this propaganda of celebrities and all the patterns of because it's a pattern. If you study the industry and Hollywood and all these celebrities and all these things, just do a little introspection on. Look at the pattern down through the years. That's why I say, unless those mean will and got caught up, tricked, whatever, I have a heart for those. But those that are evil and love toxic, demonic ways, I feel sorry for you, because your time gonna come. It's gonna come. You can't escape it. So, but my righteous brothers and sisters within our families and outside our families, salute. Keep doing what you do, because that divine will take us right on through, as it always has, and always will. So you are in alignment if, things just come to you and things just happen good out of nowhere for you, because the more seeds we plant, man, the greater that righteous tree will be. And those leaves and those branches that sprout out, those are those that we bless, because we have, and I always say, those that are righteous, we might have different platforms and different ideologies and different ways of speaking that truth. And this could be brother, sister, young or old, but it's all from the same tree, just different branches. I always like to say that. We got to think of that, because we are divinely connected, melanated brothers and sisters. So always keep studying. I always say, keep that mind focused. Don't look at the top. Don't look at the bottom, and keep creating those stepping stones so we can always have victory, because positivity is for free. It's for free. It don't cost you a damn thing, but we already know negativity do. So that was just something that was in my spirit, and know when you're in alignment. And like I said, when everything comes natural, when that divine starts showing things in your dreams, in your walk, different things out of the ordinary. You got to look for those signs, but we have to be in the right state of mind to be in this space, to feel things or see things. So that's my thought. And keep on striving to be the best of oneself. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. I promise you, that's a guarantee. So again, I think, there are churches out there that are helping the community. This is one of them. I'm sure there's got to be more than just one. So I thank them for, helping a brother in growth, as working and, financially and learning different things about computers that I didn't know before, So everything we can learn along the way, we can incorporate it in our lives. Man, everything this is a stepping stone, There's a lot of stepping stones in our lives. There's stepping stones that some of us have in our subconscious we don't even know we have, or have in the future. That's coming, It's great. So keep working towards victory, whether small or big in your life. No such thing as giving up. So that's my thought. And I thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. And may your life be prosperous and grow, and your families. And salute to the reachers and teachers that's out there doing their thing. Salute. And I honor your family. I honor my family. I honor my children, brothers and sisters all over the world, young or old. May you have the ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. Salute.